Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. A quick contest entry into Trevor Hickey, his 200 subscribers contest, or his push to 200. But actually, I think he crossed over. Yeah, actually, he already crossed over. He's at 205 now, which is awesome. And his contest goes all the way out to June 30th. But yeah, but still, wanted to kind of jump on board. Maybe we'll get him to 300 before June 30th. But yeah, I'm kind of new to his channel, and I saw his video the other day, and it seems like a total whack job. So I'm sure he and I will be great friends in no time. But yeah, just like the first 12 seconds of his video alone just had me cracking up, and I was like, I got to get to know this dude because he seems pretty cool. So I subbed his channel, and yeah, Trevor just wanted to jump on board, support your channel, man. And yeah, like I said, you had me cracking up, which was awesome. So, but yeah, his 200 subs contest, or push to 200, was just a simple give me 5 guilty pleasures. And you guys know we're talking about music, kind of what guilty pleasures entails. So as with a lot of the contests, I just went through and started pulling stuff and narrowed it down to 5. But I also figured since I pulled it and it's sitting right here, I'll just show the ones that didn't make it as really quick honorable mentions. Just won't go into details about them or anything. But yeah, I really tried to pick not just stuff that maybe is kind of wacky or cheesy, but stuff that I really, really like and really listen to like a lot. When it comes on in my car, I jam out to it. So I try to pick stuff that I really, really dig and listen to a lot. So the honorable mention stuff that didn't make it, well, for one was, I decided to go ahead and spin it anyway, was Kitty Wells. Love her to death. That's my favorite album by her. This is my favorite song, Each Day. Have no idea why I love Kitty Wells so much, but I have a bunch of her studio albums, and I don't know, that Kitty Wells, Megadeth, like this, I'm something's mixed up in there, but music flows out good. So, but yeah, so she was one that didn't quite make the cut. The other ones that didn't make the cut, sorry about that. Jules, Pieces of You, love her. Celine Dion, absolutely love her. She's one of my favorites. Love her to death. Vanessa Carlton, didn't quite make the cut. This is one that was really hard to pull out because I thought for sure this would be on my list, which is Nelson. Great album, but I mean, definitely on the cheese factor there. Rick Astley, you know, this is always kind of the whole, kind of the joking thing of the Rick and roll and all that type of stuff. But screw that. To me, Rick is a cool dude, and I freaking love this album. Love it to death. Love him to death. Another iffy one for people, I'm sure. Creed. Some absolutely hate or absolutely love. There's not a lot of in between, but I love Creed to death. Almost on the cut as well, Jane Wildman. This is her first solo album, Fur. She was the guitarist and did most of the writing for or a good chunk of the writing for the Go-Go's. That was his first solo release. It had the song Rush Hour on it, which was fantastic. And the last one didn't quite make the cut was Wilson Phillips. You know, Hold On. You know, I love Wilson Phillips. My favorite song by them is Give It Up, which isn't on this album, but still, great album there. So those are the ones that didn't make the cut. So these are the 5 that are my top 5 guilty pleasures as of today, right at this moment. And I would like to know too, I put them in order from what I thought you guys might think was the absolute cheesiest to the worst cheesiest. But let me know in the comments below how you would rate these from worst to absolute worst. I'd be very curious about where you put these 5. So let's just kind of dive right into it. My first one is going to be Enya. And this is the very best of Enya. Sorry, trying to get some of that glare out of there, the computer screen and everything. Maybe I get back here some. But yeah, I mean, I love Enya to death. I probably have like 6 of her studio albums on vinyl, even more on CD. And I've always said, I've had this answer in other competitions. If I had the choice to be able to pick 5 artists that I could say they're gonna hold a concert next week and it's gonna be in the absolute greatest venue, it's gonna be their greatest performance ever, who would be those 5 artists you like or bands you like to see? Enya would be one of my 5. I would love to see her live. And so, yeah, I love her. Day Without Rain's my absolute favorite album by her, but just all of her stuff is just fantastic to me. I love her to death. And it's so funny, talk about guilty pleasures. I got this at a Barnes and Nobles, and I'll never forget. I had this and a couple other albums. I can't remember what the other two were. I took them up to the counter, and this was on the bottom. So the kid takes out one, scans it, takes out the other, and then Enya's the last one. He grabs it and goes, "Didn't see that coming." I scanned it, just kept going, which I thought was so funny, but I can't even caught him off guard. But yeah, so definitely one of my top 5 guilty pleasures. Next, I'm going with Laura Branigan. Just to the degree that I love her to death. Laura's my girl. You know, 2000, was it 19 or 18, whatever that was, that the St. Louis Blues won the Stanley Cup. Well, I live kind of near the St. Louis area, so it was, you know, kind of blues mania. And that whole playoff run, the theme song somehow became Gloria by Laura Branigan. So after every game, every win, every bar, every place, like that song was just all around town every day, all day, throughout the entire playoffs, all the way to winning the Stanley Cup, which was just absolutely crazy. So they may have thought it was kind of spoofy or whatever, but I thought it was awesome because Laura was just like everywhere. But this is my favorite album by her, Self-Control. You know, songs like The Lucky One, but my favorite track of all time by her is Self-Control. I love that song to death. And for some strange reason, especially the guys in the background singing the backing vocals on just underneath her voice, it's just something about that I just love to death. I jam out to that song every time it comes on. So very strong guilty pleasure there. Number 3, my boy Kenny G. I don't care what anybody says, Kenny is a bad man. I mean, yeah, it's smooth jazz, you can call it elevator music and all that kind of stuff, but the dude can play a straight sax. It's extremely melody friendly, of course, so you know, that turns off a lot of people right there. But man, Kenny can play, and I just love a lot of what he does. I won't get into all this whole nother discussion there, but the first type of jazz album that I ever listened to was Kenny G Live, and that's probably still my favorite album by him. I should have pulled that one out. I actually have a sealed copy and a listening copy of that. But yeah, I mean, the dude can play. I love Kenny G. So songs like, you know, off of here, like Silhouette and things like that. But if you look on like his live album, for example, stuff like Uncle Al, Midnight Motion, Tribeca, Home, Going Home, just, it's freaking beautiful stuff, man. I'm sorry, I love it. So yeah, Kenny's my boy. Have a number of his albums too, between Silhouette, G-Force, Live, just all kinds of great stuff. So the last 2, so now we're on number 4, Michael Bolton, and this is Michael Bolton Gold. Now, I'll be the first to say, you know, there are specific songs that I can't stand by Michael Bolton. Like, you know, How Am I Supposed to Live Without You? Well, you keep singing that song, you're going to have to live without me. I can't stand that song. But when I dive into all the stuff I love by him, Bolton's the man. I'm sorry. Especially like Said I Love You But I Lied. Man, that's one of my top 10 slow jams of all time. That song is just on point. And I mean, I talk about a guilty pleasure, boy. That's one of my jam out slow jams right there. So I love Michael Bolton, so that's definitely on the list. So number 5, again, I feel like I'm kind of going deeper down into the well. So again, tell me if you think my order is right. So I figured my most guilty pleasure would be this, which is Nickelback. This is The Long Road. Kind of a new addition to the collection because I've had a couple of Nickelback CDs that just kind of came with some other collections that I got. Didn't pay attention to them that much, but this is the actual first vinyl record I've ever bought by Nickelback. It's just a weird group, man. There's always that group that's there to hate, like it just becomes cool to hate them. Like I think Coldplay held that torch for quite some time. Maroon 5 maybe kind of grabbed it a little bit, but Nickelback definitely just like took it and just sprinted with it. And I guess part My only guess is a part of the reason is that a lot of their bigger hits just seem to be their absolute worst songs to me. You know, songs like Someday, or what was the other one? Like Photograph. Like, that is horrible. But to me, when you dive into some of their B-sides and just some of their general music, if you will, as I've said before, the boys can rock. I mean, they can freaking, I mean, they can rock. It's really kind of no other way to put it. I remember seeing them when they opened up on the VH1 Honors, where they were inducting certain bands, and so there was a band that would come out and perform the band's song that was getting inducted. So Nickelback opened the show, and ZZ Top was the first band up, so they covered Sharp Dressed Man. And man, they freaking rocked the hell out of that thing. I mean, just killed it. And I watched some concert footage of them one time where they did Sad But True from Metallica. Freaking rocked the hell out of it. And so that was the first thing that drew me in a little bit to make me think, okay, there's something to these boys, because, you know, and then as I kind of dove in, it's like, yeah, there's a track here or there that's can kind of rock, and this is one of the albums that kind of shows that, with songs like Because of You. So actually, here, let me just do a quick needle drop here. So, like I said, they, you know, but anyway, but definitely have to put them on the guilty pleasure list for sure. So those are my 5. So again, let me know. I'd be really curious in the comments. List those 5 from absolute worst to just absolute worst, and let me know what order you would put those in. But anyway, as always, thanks for watching. Trevor, congratulations on already hitting the 205, and hopefully we'll get you to 300 by June 30th. Link and everything down below. Go sub to his channel. Go jump on board his contest. And we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.